There was a guy I met 2 years ago. Uh, I knew him for a brief instant, and he was speaking to me, and he was saying stuff like, Ed, the soul is like a bonsai tree, and like a bonsai tree, like those small trees that they grow in Japan that takes forever to grow, but they're like really nice trees, really small trees. And I was like, how is the soul like a bonsai tree? And then he describes to me the soul is like a bonsai tree because for a bonsai tree, every once in a while, and this is true for most plants, by the way. For a bonsai tree, every once in a while, you need to take shears, you need to take scissors, and you need to cut off an unhealthy branch, an unhealthy growth that's happening on the side of the bonsai tree. And you have to do that for most plants, by the way. They have a term for it. But for every plant that you have, for every tree that's growing, you have to make sure you take scissors or something sharp, and you have to cut out a bad part that's growing. It's like a thorn on the side of the tree. It's like a thorn on the side of the plant. You have to cut out that bad part that's growing. And if you don't do it, it's eventually going to hurt the tree. It's eventually going to kill the tree even. It can eventually kill the tree if you have a really bad part of the tree that's growing. You got to root it out. You got to cut it off in order to save the tree and to keep the tree from growing. And I was like, okay, that's very interesting. That I knew about plants. And he explained to me, you must do the same thing with the soul. You must root out the negative parts of yourself and you must cut it out. Otherwise, it's going to grow. Otherwise, it's going to kill the soul on a long enough time frame. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting. That is very interesting that he thinks that, right? You must root out the negative parts of your soul and cut them out before it corrupts you, right? If you don't do it, it consumes the soul and eventually ends up destroying said person, right? And then the last thing he said to me was all growth, because all growth is not good growth. And I said, how good of a line is that? All growth is not good growth. Since some people think I'm going to grow by making more money, and they think, hey, I'm just going to make more money and I'm going to grow in this way. Some people think I am going to grow by doing stuff with, by making more friends. Yeah, you can grow by making more friends. You can grow with making more money, for sure. You can grow with making more followers, for sure you can grow. Is that growth healthy? Because not all growth is good growth. Are you doing it in the right way? Because not all growth is good growth.